I'm Carolyn Forster and I'm sharing with you hints and tips that I talk about during my classes. And today we're going to look at hand piecing and how you negotiate seam junctions in hand piecing. So we're going to look at a very simple one today, which is if you have a piece like this is a flying geese little block, and we're going to attach it to a rectangle. So it's how to negotiate all this seam allowance, because as we know with hand piecing, you don't sew the seam allowances down, they remain upright and proud at all times during sewing. So this is what we're going to do, show you how to negotiate that junction. So you're starting off as usual with a knot and a back stitch, and I've pinned my pieces together as usual through the stitching line and into the seam allowance. I'm removing the pins as I go and back stitch every now and again, so that when you pull the thread in the seam it has a nice tension to it and you won't get gappy seams. And as you can see, we're approaching the junction, and I've got a pin there. So as you get to the pin, you can see I've come up at the end of the seam, and I'm ignoring all these seam allowances. And at this case now, to go through, I'm going into the back, I'm going backwards onto the back of the work, and I'm coming up the other side of all that junction ahead of the actual junction, and then I'm making another back stitch and then continuing on. And you can see if I open that up now, it means that you have a perfect point in that area, and I'm stitching along, taking out the pins. And you can continue on until the end, and at the end I will be finishing off with 3 back stitches. Just go backwards, 1, 2, 3. I snip the thread, and you can see I've stitched along. My seam allowances are still proud, so they're now ready to be pressed any direction I want. And on the front, we have a perfect point. There we go.